Yeah, I mean, obviously, I grew up on a farm when I was younger, so kind of yeah, just got to live the outdoor life and just loving that. I mean, obviously, I have dual citizenship, but I don't really come from Namibia or kind of live there in my life. So yeah, I mean, from small, I just lived on a farm and kind of like that. And then obviously when I got a bit older, then kind of explored Namibia a bit, and then obviously just found out that I do have the dual citizenship, which I took advantage of in terms of what do you call it, playing for them, and obviously now did play for them. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, I mean, since I was small, I mean, I was never in the house. I was always playing outside, playing rugby and sport. I mean, I competed at every different sporting code that there was when I was younger. So I kind of was an outdoor type of guy, sporty, rugby, athletics, cricket. I mean, everything. I kind of enjoyed the outdoor living and just playing outside. I was never really kind of indoor type of guy. So I think obviously me playing professional rugby for about 10 years, kind of that outdoor lifestyle and training every day and just being active. I mean, I think if I was in town or something, it probably would have been a bit different, but that outdoor life just gave me that freedom to kind of just do anything in sporting codes. I'm a kind of funny guy and always try to make people happy. So that's kind of my personality and what I do and how I do it. So I don't think it made me like different or anything. I just think I'm kind of open-minded and just kind of go with everything. My whole life, I've always kind of put rugby first. Always lived, breathe, and everything rugby, rugby, rugby. But I think when I got a bit older, obviously when I met my wife, moved over here. A lot of different things started happening in my life, and I don't know. It's just kind of, I think when you kind of grow older, you kind of think differently. I mean, obviously rugby is your number one priority. That's your love, that's your passion. But I mean, due to all my injuries and everything, it opened up my eyes quite a bit. But before that, when I was in South Africa, I started the app that I have in South Africa. But all of that kind of was in the last year before I came over. So before that, I didn't have any skills or anything in terms of setting up businesses or anything. So that kind of journey I had creating that business and setting up the app and everything kind of molded me into someone that likes exploring possibilities, seeing a gap in the market, and kind of just setting up a business, building everything on your own, because that's what I've done with most of my stuff. I've done everything on my own. I've built the websites. I do my own marketing. I mean, I do everything. So I think that kind of period when I was injured quite a bit during my first and second year, obviously gave me a lot of time to just kind of reflect on life and what am I going to do after rugby. And I mean, that's exactly where I am at the moment in terms of not playing a lot the last 2 years. Where do I go from now? I mean, if I didn't start these businesses, I mean, I don't know what I would have been doing right now. I mean, I would have been pulling my hair out of my head. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it's hard work. It's not always easy to kind of do both things. And I don't think people have a slightest idea of what I actually do, and how I set up stuff and how I need to run everything, while still maintaining your rugby career, maintaining like being a husband, being a father. So, I mean, it is challenging, definitely. You're always going to get that question, like, what would you have done differently, or what kind of mentorship would you have liked to get when you were younger? And I think that's one of those little like white elephants in the room. Like, you'll always think about stuff when like going back in your life. And unfortunately, we can't change anything that happened in the past. And if I could change stuff, I mean, I won't say I wouldn't have changed anything, but I think everything that happened in my life and in my career, kind of everything molds you into who you become like later on in life. And if you've done stuff differently or you had different mentorship, then there is a slight possibility where you might not have been become where you are today. I mean, if I had better mentorship in terms of working with money, stuff like that, I mean, I would probably not have even started businesses at this time in my career. So I think in terms of if I can go back, I think education is something I would have focused on a lot more. Obviously, I didn't know what I want to do when I was 18, 19. So you can't always say, yeah, you should have spent more time doing that, because I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was 18, 19. But I think having an education behind you, doesn't matter where in life you go or what you're going to do, you still have that to fall back on. Whereas probably 80 or 90% of rugby players don't have any education to fall back on, don't have a degree, don't have businesses, don't have anything. So I think education is probably the number one thing I would have changed when I was younger. Even, I mean, if you just studied something, you didn't have to do a degree or something, but just having a bit more knowledge in terms of, like I said, business or life skills or whatever it may be. I mean, obviously, I set up the Home Fixer app, and I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not a business that I can go back on and retire. It is a slow building kind of thing. I've put a lot of my savings in my career into the app. So, I mean, obviously, when I was still young, you kind of think you know everything and you know what to do. But I mean, obviously, I'm speaking to investors now to kind of take everything over, and I'll just have a share. I just unfortunately don't have the manpower to run all of that stuff from the UK. So in terms of my app, that is kind of the new direction which I would take. I've done everything that I needed to do. Now I just need some big businessman with a lot of capital to kind of take it over. And I am in chats with a couple of guys at the moment to see if they are going to take everything over, and I'll just be a silent partner, founder type of approach. And I mean, when I set up Bottoms, I think, I mean, I started with just some funky socks, just got bored at home, just want to try to do something, and always loved the kind of e-commerce business kind of stuff, love websites and that. And I mean, looking back at where I've started, I mean, I sold a couple of socks and then it grew into a lot of extra stuff coming on. And I mean, at this time where I'm now, I think I took a whole different approach with where I am in my career. Obviously, I've done rugby for my whole life, being in the sport community, being kind of in the sporting eye my whole career. So I just thought, well, that's kind of the route that I need to follow. I've got access to all the rugby players across the globe in terms of getting some marketing stuff done. I mean, you kind of know what products you want, what products are interesting. You know your audience, your target audiences. So I just thought that like Bottoms, the brand was kind of my fit because I know the industry. I've been in it for years, so I just thought it's a good fit. And I mean, like I said, the brand has quite evolved quite a bit. I think we've made some massive jumps over the last two months now. I've got a whole lot of new products launching. I mean, we're launching yoga sets, leggings. We launched those massage guns as well now. We're doing all these grip socks. We're doing sports socks now. Doing these quite a niche type of bags for sports guys. So, I mean, a lot of different stuff going on at the moment in terms of Bottoms and where I want to hit with this whole brand thing. I mean, that's kind of my approach, is just doing very niche products. I think the market is quite saturated in a lot of stuff, especially clothes and stuff like that. But I just kind of take a different approach to how I do my marketing more cleverly and just tell a better story in terms of what we do, where's the brand coming from, and what kind of sets us apart from buying from a big brand or buying off eBay or buying off Amazon or all these local platforms where you can buy stuff cheap. And I think we've done quite well over the last 6 months. I would say the business has kind of done extremely well. So yeah, kind of interested in looking what's going to happen over the next couple of months, and hopefully all the new products does take off, and yeah, the business will become quite successful. So I launched two new websites. So the one website is called helloava.com, and the other one is coffeegoals.co.uk. So the one is an e-commerce platform for coffee machines. I'm speaking to a bunch of coffee roasting companies to get some of their coffee brands on the website as well. So obviously just targeting some coffee lovers, the coffee market. I know it's a kind of big market in the UK, so just kind of exploring different opportunities. And then helloava.com is obviously Ava is our little daughter, and we are kind of just still playing around with what we're going to do with that. At the moment, we sourced a couple of companies in the UK that do handmade jewelry, which we then resell them on our platform. So we kind of like a type of a marketplace for other websites. So obviously they distribute everything, and that's the same with Coffee Goals. Is none of the products are kind of stored in-house like we do with Bottoms. So everything is manufactured and produced and shipped by other companies which we sourced. So obviously we take a percentage of all those products, and then, like I said, we just kind of trying to build a brand around that, and just see. I mean, this is definitely just a testing phase for us to see if it's going to work. And like I mentioned before, this is probably something that I will be testing out in the next couple of months. Just testing a load of different products, see what the market wants, what products are sellable, what people are looking after. Obviously, Amazon has kind of taken over the whole globe in terms of e-commerce and sales and stuff like that. So it is kind of hard today to compete against these big marketplaces. Because I mean, obviously the comfort of getting next day deliveries and stuff like that just makes a lot more sense. So yeah, definitely looking at how I can utilize most of this kind of stuff available to us and to our disposal in setting up a small business. Like I said, Bottoms is doing great. That is my main goal, main focus. But obviously with me, not probably going to keep on playing rugby, looking at stuff, what's going on now. I mean, I need to get as much stuff running, so that I can kind of sustain myself and feed my family. So from that point of view, is just trying as much stuff as possible. I mean, what I'll do now, especially with the Hello Ava stuff, is obviously some of my products are focused at ladies, for the yoga suits, but now that I'm targeting a kind of different audience of people, specifically, I can always bring in my brand into these websites, which I can have two kind of platforms where you do sell your products off. So yeah, just like I said, just kind of building a load of different websites, e-commerce businesses, see what works, and then obviously scale it from there. And maybe one day bringing everything into kind of one platform and running it from there. So I think especially with Bottoms at the moment, we are doing quite a lot of variety of stuff. So obviously, like I said, we do the grip socks, we're doing the running socks now, like the massage guns, stuff like that, everything very niche marketed stuff. Some are kind of a saturated market, but like I said, it's just the way how you do the marketing about it, which makes it a bit unique. I think from that point of view, it's just having kind of a self-sustained business. It's taken, like I said, 6 months. I mean, we started very small, and we've kind of gradually scaled over the last 6 months quite a bit, and that has made everything a lot easier. And it just gives you a better picture in terms of projections and what you need to spend to get to that level. So I mean, hopefully that kind of organic reach or organic kind of traction to your website will grow with the more products that you do sell. Obviously, when we started, we had a couple of products and not really getting a lot of traction, but obviously now just kind of having a lot of variety, you get a lot more people coming to your website, a lot more people talking about it, especially with the silicone rings. I'm probably the first kind of big business to sell these in the UK. So I mean, I've kind of taken over that market in terms of silicone rings. So yeah, I mean, it's great. We're doing about 50 orders a day, some days. So great prospects for me. I mean, obviously that's where you want to head to, and just constantly getting those kind of sale numbers every day. And then obviously getting coffee goals up to a couple of sales a day. Obviously, these are a lot more expensive products. The same with Hello Ava. The jewelry stuff is all of it's handmade, so it's obviously a bit more expensive. So very high end type of products, which obviously the profit margins are a bit higher, which makes it a bit less work in terms of all the ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, all those kind of things you need to spend time and money on. Your profit margins is just a bit of a better gap to sell these kind of things. So, I mean, hopefully everything goes well. I've got nice systems that I built to automate everything and kind of just having to oversee everything. So, I mean, if everything works out, obviously I'll be flying and I'll be very happy about everything. And I mean, the good thing about this is I can run this business from anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to scale Bottoms, the brand, to the US at some point. Obviously, the market there's probably 4 or 5 times bigger than the UK. But yeah, that'll come in due time. Like I said, at the moment, that's good for me because I had the kind of opportunity to use all the rugby players to kind of promote most of the products. I mean, same with the grip socks. I think True Socks sell their socks for about £30 a pair. And I've come into the market and sell it at probably half the price. So ours is $14.99. So I'm kind of getting that stuff up and running as well in terms of the grip socks. I mean, they were selling out like hotcakes just before all of this happened. And then obviously the compression socks that we launched is just doing great now. I mean, I was sold out now, so I had to manufacture new ones now. So, I mean, yeah, like things are really growing quite quickly, which is exciting. Obviously, like I said, my main focus point with Bottoms is obviously delivering the best customer service, kind of best shopping experience. If you purchase something on our website, I mean, I send out text messages, you get email notifications as far as I can, tracking details, all of those kind of things, just to make the whole shopping experience better. Because I mean, you spend so much money acquiring a customer, you kind of need to provide them with a customer service, which would, in the long haul, get them to buy from you again. And I think a lot of companies kind of miss that whole phase of getting or giving someone a good customer experience when they shop with you. And that's what we try to do a bit differently.